My name is Wesley Rogers. I'm the division chief with the Asheville Fire Department, and I've been doing this job for about 22 years. My dad and my grandfather were firefighters, so I was interested in it from a very early age. So I started as a firefighter. I did the promotional process and got promoted to lieutenant, then captain, then I was a battalion chief, and then promoted to division chief, which is what I am today. It's definitely a stress on family because you work 24-hour shifts, you're away from home a lot, you miss a lot of important life events. But you know going into it that's part of the job. But it does put a strain on things sometimes. So in the summer of 2017, my wife says she noticed it way before I did, but I started just being really short-tempered, at home specifically. I got to the point where I didn't want to come to work really anymore, and I loved the job more than anything, except for my family, of course. But I didn't want to come to work. I just wanted to stay at home. I wasn't sure what to do. I knew something wasn't right. I was in crisis. I contemplated suicide and was not in a good spot. We had done a couple trainings that were put out by the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation called Stress First Aid, and it talks about the signs of mental health crisis. And I didn't think I really paid attention in those classes, but I had paid attention enough to know that, hey, you're acting like what they talk about in those classes, especially when I had the suicidal thoughts. That was kind of the red flag that I've got to get help and tell somebody, because at that point in time I hadn't told anyone. And I didn't feel the stigma from the fire chief or anybody here. It was just what I'd grown up knowing is you don't really need to ask for help. You just keep moving on. So I didn't want to go to counseling. I didn't want to take medication, which was recommended as well. I thought that was for people who couldn't handle the job. But all those things together is why I'm here talking to you today. Went to our fire chief. He directed me to our mental health services that the city had at the time, and I went to them and they told me it would be 1 to 3 months before I was able to see anyone. Someone who's in crisis, that's just not effective. Saw a couple therapists, not with RSS. It didn't work well for me. So luckily Rick started RSS and we were one of the first kind of guinea pigs. That was extremely helpful, continues to be to this day. With Chief Burnett and the other chiefs, they supported very much RSS coming on board with us and supporting us. When we got everything put together, like agreement with RSS and the city, we had an office here. It's extremely beneficial because it's right here in our firehouse, and it allows folks to go when they're working off or coming in. But we also have the option to go to the RSS office if folks aren't comfortable coming to see a clinician in this building. And that's been the case since day one. So the clinicians that I've worked with have been very, very accommodating. If you didn't want to see a counselor here or you didn't want to see a counselor at the Reynolds office, they would meet you wherever. That's definitely unique to RSS. The biggest difference is the RSS staff understands first responders and what we go through while we are the way we are, good and bad. Someone without that experience can't really relate to what we see on a regular basis. I would encourage everyone that's a first responder, if they don't see a clinician by appointment, at least have a clinician that they know and can reach out to, because you never know when it's going to hit you and you need help and you don't know where to go or who to call. So establishing that relationship is very, very important, which is part of the program Rick created, the embedded piece, where the clinicians come and ride the fire trucks with us and ride with the police officers. I think that's an extremely important piece of it. Yeah, just establishing the relationship and not being afraid to ask for help if you need help. Pay attention to yourself, your mental health. Have some form of outlet, something where you can relieve some stress. Take care of your family and talk to your family if you're having, and friends. If you're having issues, talk to someone. Reach out if you think you need help. In the fire service specifically, we worry about our physical health a lot. We take care of ourselves, we work out, we get an annual physical, but a lot of times the mental health piece goes without a whole lot of attention. I still see Joe Ellen on a pretty regular basis, and I'm still the liaison with the fire department and RSS, so I would say I wouldn't be here without RSS, honestly. I'm not talking suicide, just saying I don't know that I would have continued to work in this profession without folks like Joe Ellen and Rick to help us out.